The 14-storied building of the Milky Way can also be called the lokas. Lokas exist in a macrocosm and are reflected in the microcosm of our bodies. Each lok represents or reflects a particular range of consciousness. Call it perceived reality. Both in the human forms and in cosmic forms, these loks are located in the space from head to toe. The cosmic body is compared to an egg and called Brahmand. The 7 upper loks are domains of light and extend from spine to crown of the head, from earth to sun, sun to the North Star or Dhruv-tara, and from there beyond. The lower loks are called tals and are domains of limited light or partial darkness. Gurudev once showed me during a state of dhyan a fire burning inside my body, crimson in color and in the area of the navel and above. It was like the fire of a yajna, and I saw it moving for quite a few seconds. My experience of fire within could possibly be the sun that illuminates from the spine to the head with the subtle aura of light. The Puranas describe these lokas to be pairs, starting from both the head as well as the center of the body in the microcosm, and differentiated by the subtleness of consciousness. It is my personal belief, with no reference to any available scripture, that the Shiv Lingam and the Lingam are also both organs of creativity, one creating subtle energy above, in the head, and the other dissipating sperm and ovary for creativity for the lower worlds. Different levels of the Loka consciousness represent different gunas or qualities that qualify the birds of a feather that inhabit them, till those qualities alter and qualifications lead to change. It is said that both the lower lokas and lower tals have existence of roops or forms of self-reflection. That is why some acquire self-reflections of devs, sages, etc., and others of rakshasas, demons, and the like. To add practical experience to theory, let me play a few recordings of people who have practically seen what others talk about. The first is Mr. Quatra, an industrialist from Gurgaon, on how he saw the unbelievable at the hands of his guru.
तो कहने लगे हाँ पुत्र आ गया तू। मैं क्या हाँ गुरु जी, लेकिन मैं क्या गुरु जी मैं ऐसा तो मत्था नहीं टेकांगा, आपको ये बताना होगा कि आप मेरे गुरु हैं, चरणों में मत्था तभी टेकूंगा कि जब आप मुझे ये विश्वास दिला देंगे कि आप मेरे गुरु हैं। तो उन्होंने कहा ओके बेटा। उन्होंने चौंकी मारी, पद्म आसन में बैठे, पद्म आसन पे बैठ करके उन्होंने हाथ उठाए एंड उनके उसको उठाने की देर है तो आज भी मैं बात करते हुए मेरे रोंगटे खड़े हो रहे हैं कि द सो dazzling light के hundreds of suns have arisen। इतनी ज्यादा लाइट हो गई कि मैं I couldn't tolerate, मैं उनके चरणों में गिर गया।
An old classmate of mine, Joy Roy, son of the famous movie director Bimal Roy, shares an experience of a conversation with a spirit. Incidentally, Joy's entire family had psychic abilities and they accidentally learnt and resorted to automatic writing.
He said there are different planes, where people go and and people are given work. I mean, the souls are given work because you have to always say, I'm very busy, I have to go. And the planes are, I think, basically to do with your amount of involvement in your present life or in your life. Your plane would go. You would go to the plane that you are supposed. I mean, in the sense, is in keeping or with the kind of life that you led. So I guess there were higher planes and lower planes, and so yeah. So that's all I can remember because it was a long time ago. I think once or twice he said we used to ask, "Have you met so and so? Have you met?" Meaning his sisters, brothers who had already passed. And if I recollect, he said once I think he said yes. Another time he said they're in another plane and I haven't met them, or something like that. Meaning, it's very, what I'm trying to say is there's a structured life, meaning after death, there is a structure to the existence of the soul.
Changing these self-reflective forms is probably as difficult as changing attitudes and habits. And therefore, beings get stuck. And it takes multiple births and unlimited years for the self-reflective corrections. Also, guna mix corrections, as we will examine later. Arthat, the snakes and ladders game is the longest game to play. Should be snakes and sages, technically speaking, as most of the nether worlds are supposed to be inhabited by Nagas and the upper ones by divine beings. Hence, the cliche works. The equation is gunas plus karma or sanskars plus self-reflection equals to the corresponding loka. As we go lower in the microcosm, the light reduces and darkness increases in proportion with each receding loka. Patal, or the lowest, being the darkest. Let me play you an interesting testimony of Pappuji, whose father was an early disciple of Gurudev. Shambhuji forces Gurudev in the early 80s to open his third eye or Divya Drishti, and what he sees is unseeable with two eyes.
रात को ऊपर सोते थे छत के ऊपर
जी।
तो वहाँ सारे इकट्ठे थे, बैठे बैठे वो बात चली उसके बारे में।
किसके बारे में?
दिव्य दृष्टि के बारे में।
अच्छा।
तो रामनाथ जी तो वो कहते हैं ये सब ऐसे ही है, ये वो है, सो है, ये पांच मुखी शिव, ये कुछ नहीं होता, बोले ऐसे बनाई हुई बातें हैं।
जी।
तो पिताजी ने समझाया कि उसको, अरे आवड़ो बड़ी बात मत करा कर, ये सब चीजें हैं। वो कहते हैं तो मुझे तो कुछ कभी देखा नहीं मैंने, कभी ये नहीं हुआ। तो गुरु जी बैठे हुए थे, हंस रहे थे
जी।
फिर उन्होंने थोड़ा इशारा किया कि भाई ये इसको कुछ दिखाना पड़ेगा। वो सो गए। सुबह सुबह ये 4 बजे के आसपास का टाइम था, तो उस वक्त बाहर गेट जो है, शिवपुरी की बात है
जी।
तो वहाँ वो गेट जो है किसी ने खटखटाया। गुरु जी उठे, उन्होंने पिताजी को बोला जाओ देखो कौन है, जाओ। तो रामनाथ जी भी उठ गए, तो नीचे आए। तो जैसे उन्होंने गेट को खोला और आगे देखा तो आगे वो एक इतनी भयानक शक्ल वाला वो खड़ा हुआ है। उसकी शक्ल इतनी भयानक है जैसे राक्षसों की होती है। तो पिताजी थोड़ा थक पकाए और फिर पीछे हटके आके देखा तो रामनाथ जी ऊपर से उतर रहे थे। वो भी गए तो उन्होंने भी देखा तो उनको भी वो वही सीन नजर आया। वो घबराए, तो भागे तो गुरु जी इतने में ऊपर से उतर के नीचे अपने कमरे में चले गए। तो जैसे वो कमरे में गए तो वहाँ गुरु जी का रूप जो है वो वहाँ देखा है। एक्चुअली उन्होंने पांच मुखी वाला जो है वहाँ अंदर कमरे में देवी महाराज का स्वरूप जो है उन्होंने देखा। तो वो घबरा गए, रामनाथ जी घबराए। तो पिताजी को तो खैर इन चीजों के बारे में पता था, वो तो जानते ही थे। बस वो इतने जैसे वो घबराहट हुई और गुरु जी उस वक्त अपने नॉर्मल उसमें आ गया और उनकी वो जो थी दृष्टि तो वो सारी वो बंद कर दी उन्होंने।
Let us step down from the 7th floor of the 14-storied building of this universe and see what the lower loks or tals have to offer. The 6th floor, just below earth, is Atala. Rajas is the predominant guna. The average guna mix is a few shades lower. The level in the human body is hips, and its creative organ is the lingam, in parallel to the Shiv lingam in the head. Reservoir of energy for the netherworlds is the flow of sperm compared to the fluid of the Shiv lingam above. It is a world of lesser qualifications than our Bhuloka or earth. It also takes one deeper into delusion and ignorance. Fear and lust are governing emotions. The rupas of the residents here is averagely lower in terms of self-impression and qualifications. It is a corrective world like all the lower planes, and only those who overcome lust and fear and develop opposite attitudes of self-confidence, self-discipline, self-control, and intent to jump to the ladder can get rebirth to earth. A large majority of Earthians develop such qualities and have to bounce back to lower planes after their life comes to an end. Those who have qualities of nobility and style are perfect inmates. Intellectuals with selfish attitudes, senior I, me and mine corporate executives, shrewd businessmen, people clever but not wise, corrupt doctors earning commissions by making patients undergo unnecessary expense, people with several extramarital affairs, those indulging in sexual fantasizing, masturbation, etc., make a good fit in these lower lokas, depending on the intensity of their rajasic qualities, combined with tamasic ones, and a fair amount of sattvic ones too. I met my grandmother several months after her demise. It was a strange place. The inmates were all in a similar dress, and the place was darkish or not so bright. She saw, but did not acknowledge me, and continued talking to her associates and colleagues. She looked 30 years younger, but not so unhappy. I believed, and I could be wrong, that she was in a lesser world than this one. She was a decent person, but I guess good enough is not good enough for a cent. Vital Lok. This is the 5th floor and the 2nd level of lower lokas. Each of these levels have multiple locations, cities, and parallel worlds within those parameters. Their topography varies, including the geography, type of colors of the ground, etc. The guna mix is probably, but I conjecture, about 20% sattva, 40% rajas, and 40% tamas. The ignorance levels are higher and sense gratifications are greater aspirations. Warriors, awarded marines, scientists with negative ambitions and qualities, dishonest businessmen, politically minded corporate executives, self-centered beings, violent people either physically or mentally. In short, people with lower self-opinions and stored sanskars belong here. Depending on guna, this could include people with riches on earth, great social standings, well-educated, with maybe degrees from even Harvard or Stanford, people who do charity for social status, priests who are corrupt, government officers who insist on bribes, get visas to these lower lokas very easily. These lokas are not ugly places, but just darker, both in light and in concept and consciousness. Lokas like Sutala or Vitala also contain residents who may be pious and dogmatic, including mean religious leaders, yogis, priests, sportsmen, and women celebrities, presidents, chieftains, with one common factor: lower self-opinions and perceived negative sanskars, the guilty. People in lokas at the level of Sutala, though ignorant, more sense-attracted, more tamasic, still have the desire for hopping onto the ladders and working towards self-improvement. They self-reflect to be demonic and less positive. Their rupas or guna sharirs have a harshness and eyes lack a look of kindness. They believe that they have a lot to do to reverse their descent. Talatal, the 3rd floor, or Mahatal, the 2nd floor, are not necessarily uncomfortable, but darkness prevails in greater measure. Pseudo-agnostics, self-realized sinners, terrorists, tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, can all qualify, in a manner of speaking. After self-corrections and improvement in their guna mix, they can get a chance to take rebirth on earth as a corrective opportunity, but lead a life of suffering, ill health, financial problems, social dissatisfaction, in an almost why me existence. Multiple births and slow and steady progress is required to get them to climb the ladder rather than slip on the snakes. Again, it is said that there are several locations of existence on these lokas. Rasatal and Patal, the second and the first floors, are the lowest lokas of existence as defined in various scriptures. Tamas of the negative kind is the dominating guna. Self-reflection is not even a concept. Delusion and ignorance are at a peak in these lokas. Dissatisfaction and misery abound. People believe that a wretched existence is all there is to expect. Liberation and shifting from snake to ladder is a far cry, and both behavior and perception are animalistic. Qualities of refinement hardly exist. Living in the pits is not a pun. It's literal. It's like living in the shadows with the power off. The plugins are hatred, jealousy, supreme guilt, envy, sorrow, basest emotions, worst attitudes, and demonic nature leading to demonic rupas of the self. Great conquerors like Hitler, Napoleon, terrorists who murder freely, professional killers are allotted these realms. There are 2 points to ponder. 1. Is the misery here eternal? And 2. How does one escape from these to better places? It is believed that it is only when you have suffered enough and built a resolve to change do you set an opportunity to get birth on the Bhuloka or earth. This is supposed to be true for most of the lokas and for movement from one to the other, either upwards or downwards. It is our dimension that provides the infrastructure for the relevant crisscross visas. That is why people of this plane of existence reflect the gunas of various lokas. The conditioning and qualifications show and become the trends of their thinking. However, as this is the karma loka, there is opportunity to go against your nature and qualify for the better. Divine beings from higher loks take birth to serve their lower loka entities, to manipulate a change in their gunas through example setting, motivation, counseling, and sharing their gyan. Higher lok beings descend downwards often to fulfill their own completions and final attainments. Many gurus are obligated to take rebirth to uplift their disciples and help them gain completion. Many such devtas, sages, rishis make this a purpose of life. With a personal sacrifice, they help to uplift millions during their lives and beyond. Jesus has and still helps to inspire greater qualities in people. The churches become institutions for change and the priests his conduits. So it is with other isms. The latest and one of the greatest was the Mahaguru, whose Karma Bhumi was Gurgaon and afterlife headquarters is Nazargarh. While most prophets came with a small contingent of a few, he brought along hundreds of beings from higher lokas to accomplish his missions. Strangely but truly, all these prophets and their associates have to go through their trials before they can view their tribulations. Most succeed, but some do not. The Bhuloka is the poker land where many cards get shuffled. Many sacrifice their desires and many fall for them. The playing field looks fair. The tools are Purusharth. The obstacle is destiny and sanskars. And time is short. Background music is maya or delusion. Climbing the ladder needs effort and balance. Sliding down the snake is gravitational. So let's not focus on the technicalities of this presentation, instead on its message. Our conversation today is not accidental. I have in the vision state visited a few lokas, but never connected the dots and never pondered on the subject. A few weeks ago, whilst going through my mails, I suddenly found my phone accidentally starting playing a YouTube video on lokas. On reflection, I realized that this was a wonderful subject to share and inspire. Unfortunately, my experience was limited and theory not my normal choice. But in this case, I had to resort to borrowing a few pages from the ancients. And so these thoughts are a mixture of my realizations combined with those of others. The purpose is manipulation. Manipulation of your mind and mine. I need to convince you to swim against the tide and myself to be aware that sliding is so much easier. And so, be constantly aware. The moral of the story is, reflect, realize, correct. I have seen many great people who must be from higher lokas waste their lives. They gave into baser qualities, became arrogant with success, lived self-centered lives, became people of great taste, ruled by their senses, their wine tastings, their bouquets of perfumes, their I am the foodie attitudes, etc., etc. The snakes became a choice of vehicle. On the other hand, I have seen many or heard of many like Valmiki and Vishwamitra and others with base qualities and habits during this earlier life change to evolved beings. Many have lowered their mustaches, become humble, dispassionate, unattached, overcome sensory temptations, and qualify for higher lokas. Those who practiced selfless service progressed geometrically. Statutory warning. These concepts sound black and white, but contain a lot of grey. For example, H for Harvard is not necessarily H for hell. It means even highly educated people can slip to lower floors of the multi-storied building of lokas. They say some of the rulers of the lower lokas are advanced beings with immense power. So all is not lost at slightly lower levels. The bright side? You don't need sunglasses. Most of Gurudev's disciples were established saints from the past and yet needed him to shine brighter. In the process, most would have advanced to higher qualifications. Allow me to play an excerpt from an interview with Shobha Taneja, whose late and great husband gave her a vision and explained his afterlife status.
आप अपने हस्बैंड के बारे में कुछ मुझे बताएं कि कभी उनके शरीर छोड़ने के बाद कभी उन्होंने आपसे आके बताया कि वो क्या करते हैं, क्या हो रहा है उनकी लाइफ?
हाँ जी, उन्होंने बताया मेरे को। मैं बड़ी अच्छी जगह रह रहा हूँ, यहाँ बड़े अच्छे लोग हैं, मैं गुरु जी के साथ हूँ और मुझे सबने पूरा बताया था कि मैंने कहा मेरे पास आओ, मुझे भी ले दो। कहते नहीं, मैं बाद में अभी आना, मैं बड़ी दूर से आता हूँ तेरे मिलने, मुझे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती है तेरे पास आने के लिए और मैं बहुत, मेरी बड़ी यहाँ सेवा होती है, मुझे खाना पीना बहुत अच्छा मिल रहा है और बड़े अच्छे लोग हैं जहाँ मैं रह रहा हूँ। मुझे पीछे सपने में सारा बोल गए थे।
और उन्होंने ये नहीं बताया कहाँ?
नहीं, वो गुरु जी के साथ है। कहते हैं गुरु जी के साथ हम सब बैठे हैं।
Before we come to our own to-do list, let us look at the ladders that stand parallel to the snake. What are the higher lokas? What qualifications are required? What are the to-dos to get higher on the ladders? Let us imagine ourselves standing at the mid-landing of a staircase. Climbing it is greater effort and needs agility. For those who like to sound profound, call it Purusharth. Let us make this a workshop where we can all contribute to each other's realizations. Technically, you cannot climb up the ladder to higher lokas. You need to float up. Spiritual ballooning, I can call it. The process is lightening the load and moving from grosser to subtler. So what do you need to do to offload in order to move from the Bhuloka or earth plane to its parallel Bhuvalok or astral plane? In chakra terms, from the Mooladhara chakra to the Swadhisthana chakra, from the earth element to the water element, from predominantly tamas to more rajas. Let's mention a few giveaways and undos. Remember, this is a world ruled and perceived by senses. Being optics of limitation, our senses do not offer us more than 5 to 10% of reality. In brackets, within the limitations and circle of Maya. So, The first question: how to circumvent the snakes created by these senses? Question 2: do attachments take you to higher level or stick you down? Question 3: how could you step up the ladder? Gurudev's ek vakya was apni maut ko saath lekar phirna. Always be conscious of death. I bought his philosophy 35 years ago, and for me this has been a game changer. Just like I believe this discussion can be for you if you buy into it. Between the Bhuvar Lok, the 8th floor, and the next, the 9th floor, the Swarlok or Swarg, heaven, Jannat, the difference is quite huge. Here at the 8th floor, we have a slightly different set of offloads because this is a loka of intellect, memory, relationships, heroic attitudes, emotions. On the other hand, it is also a loka of attainments. Question 1. So how do you float up to heaven or Swar? Let us examine the lyrics that show you how not to. A song from the movie Taj Mahal comes to mind, and I quote, "Sabhi ahle duniya ye कहती है हमसे कि आता नहीं कोई मुड़ के अदम से, आज जरा शान वफा देखे जमाना, तुमको आना पड़ेगा, जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा, जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा." Swarg is a place where you can spend your cosmic currency earned and stored. It is a place of immense pleasure and beauty. Seva leads to Swarg or beyond. It's a place where spiritual understanding and aspirations begin. But there's always a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. There's always a hole. So good deeds get spent and return to Bhulok happens at some point for a recharge. People learn detachments and how to focus on the purpose of the self. They also prepare for rebirth on Bhuloka when spiritual assets dwindle. They get born as kings and queens and administrators and dominating personalities and celebrities, whatever. Once again, the cycle begins. If they are philanthropic and kind, they retain their loka status. If not, they catch a snake ride. If they are those who outdo expectations, the ethereal ladder appears and an ascent is in order. The ascent is to the Anahata Chakra or the Maharlok, which lies beyond the Dhruv Tara or the pole star. The geographical location of the Swa is between the sun and the pole star. Mahar is the land of the wise and balanced, with qualities of selfless service, compassion, and self-love. However, inactivity and observer capability is still one loka away. Birth on earth comes as teachers, reformers, saintly people, healers, etc. Karmas are not doable at the level of these higher lokas. When one qualifies beyond devotion and beliefs and attains the status of knowing or jnana, one becomes an invited resident of the Jana Loka. In the microcosm, this loka is at the level of the Vishuddhi Chakra. One needs to be a sincere practitioner of spirituality and dispassion to qualify for a seat here. Till you harbor emotions, don't attain jnana or intuitive knowledge, you can read about this loka, but not live here. The senses, especially the sense of sound and hearing, needs to be history at this point. When self-respect turns to self-reverence, when one feels the justification of self-worship, one takes birth, if and when one needs, on Bhuloka as a spiritual ladder and an aspirant to a higher loka. When duality becomes an amalgam and wisdom hands the baton to observership or sakshi bhav, one gets catapulted to the tapaloka. This is the loka of divya bhakti and reflection of oneself as divinity. There are no judgments on others or self, and one learns to identify as one with the universal consciousness. as this is the place of the third eye in the body, one has started the journey to shift consciousness. To share my story with Gurudev, he first made my third eye open 35 years ago, and when I had several experiences, I went and shared them with him. What seemed cruel at that time was that he scanned his hand from my head to my lower back and shut it. I could have otherwise answered any question about any subject to anyone at any time. All these any's, which were many's, got diluted to pennies. His wisdom was that I would get stuck at this point and enjoy the results and not move further. This is his grace to most of his disciples, whom he qualified for higher loks, but did not allow the usage of those qualities, lest they become obstacles in themselves. There are three centers between the Tapaloka and the Satyaloka. Above the Ajna Chakra are three chakras, including the Sahasra, the location for final emancipation. Of course, once in a few thousand years, there are those who do not depart from the body, but with it. It is called going Seh Sharir. Jesus, Sitaramji Senior, Kabir, Guru Nanak, and several unheard of ones are of this status. A different version of these are the immortals, whose body is everlasting and dwell on this loka. Parashuramji, Ashwathama, Hanuman and others I am not aware of, exist in this status. It is believed that above the Satyaloka are lokas like Vaikuntha, Goloka, Shivaloka, etc. It is possible that the Brahmalok and these are parallel and variable due to the inherent nature the being has evolved into. Arthat, is their consciousness Shiva, Vishnu or Brahma? In disagreement to many scriptures, I would say that moksha lies beyond these lokas too. I would like to play a short recording of Sri Ravi Trehan, one of Gurudev's disciples, on a visit to a higher loka.
उन्होंने इस तरह से तो लेके गए और मुझे इस बात का भी एहसास हुआ कि मैं इस लोक में नहीं हूँ, किसी दूसरे लोक में हूँ. I cannot say that with 100% confidence तो है, 100% proof, but the impression I got was कि मैं गुरु लोक में था.
When?
एक बार वो जो मुझे साथ ले गए थे.
Okay.
वो साथ ले गए थे, मैंने वहां देखा. पहचानने वाली सिचुएशन में मैं नहीं था, लेकिन मुझे ऐसा महसूस हुआ कि जितने पुराने महागुरु हैं, देवर देयर इन द सेंस, जैसे ऋषियों की आप शक्लें देखते हैं तस्वीरों में, बड़ी जटाएं और दाढ़ी और जिस तरह की वो पोशाक पहनते हैं, उस तरह का दरबार लगा हुआ है. एंड विश्वामित्र जी भी वहां पर हैं, अपने
वशिष्ठ जी,
महर्षि वशिष्ठ भी वहां पर हैं. इस तरह के एहसास था कि ये लोग यहाँ बैठे हुए.
The purpose of our Loka chart today is to create the awareness of the various options in the afterlife. Though it is not a choice, but yet we can try to create within ourselves the changes that help us to qualify for placements in higher domains. If you are not able to score all the marks, remember, nor has the person who formulated it, nor many of the sages, nor the Devi Devtas. If you have questions, let me tell you that I have not visited all these lokas. I have visited only 3 or 4 at the most. On one of the lokas, I remember, I was not walking, but in Padmasana, floating above the ground. And it seemed to be a very bright, but a very rustic place, without too much of aesthetics in it. And on another occasion, I remember visiting another loka which had a similar topography and was similarly bright, and was witness to watching many saints walk across from one place to the other. I assume these are experiences of higher lokas. The experience I cited earlier of meeting my grandmother, or rather seeing her, was in one of the lower lokas. Gurudev once shared with me in confidence that when we die, in our afterlife, we have to first pass through the Dhruv Tara or the pole star to get to where we belong. He also mentioned that we come across crossroads, and at these crossroads, one side has very bare looking places and the other side has very aesthetically lovely looking places. And he warned that the bare ones are the higher ones and we should not get stuck because of our sense of sight. Just a warning for those who might need it in some life or the other. Ravi Trehanji asked me to share with you a version of the 7 Chakra Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swa, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Satyam, Om Tat Savitra Varenyam, Bhrigo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. This, according to me, is not a prayer. It is a set of vibrations that come together to expand your aura, enhance your power, and help you to climb to higher levels of the microcosm that you are. And with this, we conclude our talk on lokas and hope it inspires you. In case you do not decide to practice and heed what I have recommended, then it's simple. You just owe me $1 million, either in this loka or some other.